Hi everyone, welcome back. Oh my god, I have been trying to film for like hours, but it's just one of those days where I could not get off of like the couch. Like, oh my god, I had so much planned today and I just really didn't do any of it until now. It's now 4 p.m., but I wanted to get at least this done. Be a bare minimal Mary. The past month, I have been collecting makeup and not using any of it for this very day because I wanted to do a full, complete face first impressions. So every single product I'm going to put on my face today is going to be something I've never used before. So you're going to see my unfiltered, unplanned reaction to it. I don't really have much to say. So let's just get started. So the first thing I always do is my brows. So when I bought a certain foundation that will not be named for the purpose of controversy, I picked up a couple of other things from Tarte Cosmetics that I figured would be cool to try out. Stuff that I don't have a lot of in my collection. And one thing that I got was the Tarte Amazonian Clay Volumizing Powder. Tarte Amazonian Clay Volumizing Powder. As you can see, most of the stuff's going to be in the box, just as solidary proof that I haven't used it, even though it doesn't prove anything. I could have just totally taken it out of the box and put it back. I love this packaging. Tarte has some really chic packaging, I have to say. They have a couple of shades. I got the shade Rich Brown, which looks more or less like the shade I would use. Maybe I like something a bit more cool toned. Alright. Seems to be going on well as any of my eyeshadows that I use would. As some of you might know, I prefer powders as opposed to pencils or gels. I don't know, I feel like gels don't look as good, and I do like using pencils. It's just whenever I use a pencil, like, it runs out so quickly. Like, I'll go through a brow pencil in like 2 weeks and I just feel like, where did it go? I'm gonna be using a pretty solid range of products. There's gonna be some high-end, there's gonna be some drugstore, stuff from Sephora, stuff from CVS, stuff from Ricky's, which is a really great beauty supply store in New York. It's one of my favorites, actually. They follow me on Instagram, and that makes me feel really special. I like it. It's nice and rich in pigmentation, but not so rich that I look insane. Sometimes with brow products, they'll fade away when I blend them. This doesn't seem to do that, which is nice. I don't have an eye primer. Lately, I've been using concealer as eye primer anyway. I'm just going to use the concealer that I had planned to use as my new product, which I'll show when I do my concealer. But for now, I'm going to turn off the camera and just clean up my eyebrows, prime my eyes, and I'll be right back. Onto eyeshadow. I have 2 new palettes to try out. I only need to get one, but of course I wound up getting 2. It's Wet n Wild Color Icon palette in the shade Not a Basic Peach. The Color Icon palette is something they've had for a while, but I think they recently repackaged and reformulated it to update it. And then I also have a palette that I've been wanting for a very long time. And I was in Ricky's and I just saw it and I was like, you know what? I think it's time. Before I made excuses like, oh, I have too many palettes. Oh, I have so much other stuff to try. But no more excuses. I needed this in my life. This is the BH Cosmetics Galaxy Chic. And can we just take a moment? These are all like baked eyeshadows named after like the planets. And look, they even have like marble patterns, like the earth shade looks like the earth. They have like a Milky Way one. It's so pretty. It's like, even if they don't perform that well, it's like, I would still keep this just to look at it. Like, is that not one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen? I think these two together will collaborate nicely to create some kind of look. Thinking blues and greens, and I have some like liners I want to try, some colored liners, so I'm going to incorporate some silver into that. Let's start with this green color right here. Okay, I mean, when it comes to colored eyeshadows, the drugstore tends to have a little less pigmentation. You tend to have to work a little bit harder to build things up. I mean, it's blending okay. It's just not showing up as much as I would like it to. Blend it all the way up. Yeah, like that color didn't swatch great, and it's not terrible, but it's not the best. Definitely have better things in my collection. Don't think I'd necessarily reach for this particular color again. Let's go into Galaxy Chic now. I'm gonna take the shade Comet, this like turquoisey color. Let's take a little bit of Neptune, which is a deep royal blue. Guys, I just try so many eyeshadows, so it's just something I'm really picky about. And especially since I started out with high-end shadows, as opposed to other things in makeup where I started out with the drugstore and graduated to high-end. You hear my sister being annoying, so I'm just gonna try to not talk as much, and I'm just gonna point to the shade I'm using, and I'll tell you my thoughts at the end. So I did some things and some stuff. My thoughts on BH Cosmetics eyeshadows is I think they have some really cool palettes and they have nice color selections. And I think it's good shadow for someone who's like just starting out and wants to play with color. And of course they have really, really cute palettes just like this, which is just stunning and it's such a great idea. And they're just so beautiful looking. But the way they perform, it's not bad. I think this is a cute look. I think it's just more of a personal preference. I think this will work for a lot of people. I know a lot of people don't like a ton of pigment. So this does make, I feel like, colorful, interesting, yet toned down looks. I like it. It's just not my favorite eyeshadow, but because it's so cute, I'll probably still keep it. There's something else I want to try to really zhuzh up this look a little. On Tarte Cosmetics' site, they had this set of liners for sale. The Tartist, I'm just open this up. And again, box is so cute. Tarte kills it with their packaging. These are the clay paint liners. I have copper, black, champagne, and mulberry, which is like a purple. And then you also get this little dual-ended brush. It has an angle side, and it has like a little brushy side. I'm gonna actually take this champagne-y one, and we'll go ahead and use the brush, because why not? I want to sort of try cutting the crease. I never used liners out of a squeeze tube before, and I presume that it would maybe help the liners last longer and not dry out, which is good for me because I don't use liner a lot. And a lot of my felt tip liners and my liquid liners and my gel liners can dry out fairly fast. So this type of packaging might actually be beneficial for me. It's very thick, almost as like a base, sort of maybe cutting the crease a little bit. For some reason I thought this color was going to be lighter. I mean, not looking at it now, I know it's not going to be so light, but just before. By the way, if the lighting changes, the sun just went down and I left my window open, so there I... Bright shimmery color over top. Go with Milky Way. Just gonna put that like over top the liner. I think I like these better like packed onto the lid than I do blended out. And I don't think these are really meant to be in the crease because they're all shimmers. But I mean, with a palette like this, I like to be able to try to create a look out of it. So you're gonna have to really build it up if you want it in the crease. But on the lid, they go on lovely. They last on the lid, I can't say. But yeah, I really want to create more looks with this palette. Let me know if there's a look you want to see. I'll just take like a couple of the other colors I was using. Just sort of blend. I don't know if it layered super well over that Tarte liner. Perhaps I should have let it set a little bit. Came off really weird and flaky. Didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. That's all I can really do. We're gonna try the Tarte liners as actual liner as well. The texture of this product is unlike anything. It's like moussey and it's like thick. Very interesting. This doesn't have as light. This looks lighter on camera, but I want it to be a little bit darker. But I think it'll still work. It's not quite. I would definitely want something lighter. I'll go in with one of the shimmer shades actually. I just want to... Maybe with Wet n Wild, their neutrals are good, but their colored shadows need some work. That shadow was lovely. And like I swatched that brown looks really nice too. I'm gonna take a shimmer color. Oh, that's beautiful. So I'm just gonna take the black Tarte liner and use it as actual liner. I'm gonna use the other side of this brush, little precision guy. I've heard nice things about this liner, and it's going on smooth and nicely. Ooh, I fucked up. It's okay, not to know. I mean, the liner, it went on nicely. I'm just gonna go in with the Tarte on the lower lash line. I'm gonna put on some lashes. And I'll come back. The primer I have, this is the Ordinary High Adherence Silicone Primer. This was $5 at Ricky's. I found a bunch of Ordinary stuff and I heard good things about their makeup. So I decided to pick this up, and I made it as $5. And this is a skin high adherence silicone primer. So it's a blurring, smoothing primer. It's going to blur out the pores and smooth out the skin. It's very strange. It's more like a lotion. It doesn't feel like the type of primer I think to be skin smoothing or blurring. It feels moisturizing. It doesn't feel, it feels a little bit smoothing, but I don't know. I would play with this a little bit more. I mean, obviously I would test out wear time and stuff like that. I've wanted to try this one forever, and I just had so many foundations, I decided to hold off on it, but I think it's about time. This is the Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation. In the shade Nude Ivory. I've heard this to be a real drugstore gem. Nothing but good things. So we're gonna see how it wears today. And I have no idea what the coverage is gonna be, so I probably shouldn't be putting on this much. It's going on a little streaky. Doesn't seem to be blending in as well. But, you know, that could just be the primer and not the foundation. That's the sort of thing with these. It's like you put the primer and the foundation on. Is it the primer that's bad, or is it the foundation that's bad? Like, the coverage is pretty decent. I did put a pretty decent amount on, but I mean, it's covering things up pretty well. I'm gonna go on with a sponge and see if I can maybe like get it to meld with the skin a little bit better. That's helping. Okay, I think that's helping. Yeah, it is. So it's a sponge-friendly foundation. Now the concealer, which is also what I use to prime my eyes. This is the Stila Aqua Glow Serum Concealer. The thing I noticed about this that was strange, but I started squeezing it, and doesn't it sound like it doesn't have... It sounds like there's a lot of air in there, like there's not a lot of product. It says 0.23 ounces, which seems decent enough, but did they just forget to fill this one? Like, what's going on, Stila? It's very, like, liquidy consistency, so... Okay, but the shade is right. The coverage is nice, too. It really spreads out. Need to be careful with my hat. Let's see how it covers spots. Pat it on my nose right here. Okay. The coverage is nice on both the foundation and concealer. I just think something's making it sit weird, and I have a sickly feeling it's the primer. So I have a new powder here. Not open, of course. Note to self, open all the makeup before you start the video. I haven't tried a new powder in a while. I've been so stuck on the RCMA No Color powder for a while. But here I have the NYX Mineral Matte Set It Don't Fret It powder. Could someone just explain to me why I've needed like 10 power tools to open everything today? Looks a little dark. I don't know if it's going to be translucent. I'm just going to dust it and see. It has a very weird smell. A powder, you can't really tell without wearing it throughout the day. And I'm not going anywhere today because I am depressed. I will give you guys an update on this when I do wear it out throughout the day at some point in time. I don't have a contour powder, but I have a bronzer, and it's on the dark side, so I think it'll be kind of like a bronzer contour sort of thing. Stila All Day. This is a Stay All Day. Stila Stay All Day bronzer for face and body. And look at this. It's a big, beautiful pan. This doesn't seem... Ooh, that looks scary. Doesn't seem to be blending very nicely. Like, that side looks very harsh and intense. I found this beautiful Anastasia Beverly Hills blush kit. was on sale, and I just felt like it had really unique colors. I don't know what this is. Like, this is apparently a blush. It looks like a contour. Not even. I don't really know what it is. We're just gonna go in with the shade right here. I just don't feel like that's blending very well. I don't know. I don't like anything right now. Okay, it's building up nicely. This is a different shade. That one's looking pretty. I know it's a lot of blush, but I don't care. I like blush. So, sue me! For highlight, I have this really beautiful Starlit powder from Makeup Forever. This is in the shade 02. I've heard Jaclyn Hill rave about this. It's an interesting color. I think I would definitely like it to have a little more highlighting power, but it blended nicely. I finish off this look with this Kevyn Aqua matte lipstick in the shade Persistence, and it's like a deep violet color. It's creamy. It doesn't look too red on the lips, and I forgot to moisturize too, so considering that, I'd say this looks pretty nice. Again, I have to check in another day for the longevity test. I'm just gonna like clean things up and smoke some low lash line action out, and I'll just be right back. I look a little crazy, but honestly, I just don't feel like dealing with this camera right now. Like, it just keeps running out of room because I was just dilly-dallying too much and spent too much time filming, so now it's full of nonsense. This is the finished look. This looks pretty bad. This just did not blend. I had issues with things blending today for sure. Wow. The face products haven't been so great. I look a little powdery. I think that primer, maybe that foundation and the primer wasn't so good together. And then the concealer as well. I don't know. That's the thing of first impressions. It's kind of hard to figure out who to blame, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, it could have been the foundation, things didn't blend well on top of it. Or, like, just the contour powder itself didn't blend well, or the blush didn't blend well. Obviously, something went wrong somewhere. I like this lipstick. The Starlit powder is beautiful. I actually put a little bit of it on the inner corner here, and it's actually more intense than like anything else on my eyes. I like these shadows. I like the colors. Sort of like a cheaper eyeshadow. You just kind of have to work to build it up. That's kind of more expected with cheaper eyeshadows. But I do like the brows though. The brows came out nice. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so sorry for this like whack ass outro that I'm doing right now, but it is what it is. Be sure to subscribe if you like what you see, share it to the world, share it to the children, and I'll see you next time. Bye.